Salut, c'est Géraldine, bienvenue sur Commune Française TV. Sound French, even to the French. French language is poetry, full of sweet metaphors and images like flowers on a field of words. Some of these images have been repeated over the years and centuries. Repeated because they were based on truth and reflected useful life experience and common sense. These popular sayings became des proverbes. Des proverbs. However, over the years and across languages, their meaning isn't always clear. I must admit, even for me, it took me way too long to get what some of these common proverbs really mean. Let's dive in. Avec des si, on mettrait Paris en bouteille. Avec des si, on mettrait Paris en bouteille. Or literally with ifs, you could put Paris into a bottle. It translates into something like, if wishes were horses, beggars could ride. You know when you're with that friend who says all the time, si j'avais le temps et un peu de motivation, je pourrais facilement devenir auteur de roman. Si j'avais le temps et un peu de motivation, je pourrais facilement devenir auteur de roman. If I had time and some motivation, I could easily become a novelist. Or, si j'ai 3 bons numéros à la loterie, je deviens millionnaire. Si j'ai 3 bons numéros à la loterie, je deviens millionnaire. If I have 3 right numbers on the lottery, I'm a millionaire. All these conditions that start with si seem short and could happen, but you know, if it were so simple, you could dream bigger and with enough sentences started with si, such as si j'étais riche, si j'étais riche, if I was really wealthy, si j'avais une très grande bouteille, si j'avais une très grande bouteille, si j'avais des très gros outils, si j'avais des très gros outils, if I had enormous tools, well, with enough conditions and if onlys, who knows what you could do? Well, that's a rhetorical question, isn't it? I know what you could do. Avec des si, on mettrait Paris en bouteille. Avec des si, on mettrait Paris en bouteille. With ifs, you could put Paris in a bottle. Nowadays, you might hear another expression with the same sense. Yaka faucon. Yaka faucon. Short for il n'y a qu'à. Il n'y a qu'à, il faut qu'on. Il faut qu'on. There's only one thing we need. We only have to do this, which are most of the time annoying things to hear. If it were so simple, you would have already done it. And those who say yaka or faucon are generally prompt to give you advice, but slow to actually do the work and pull their weight. So, speaking of useless things to say, pisser dans un violon. Don't. Pisser dans un violon means to piss in a violin. It's a powerful image with a touch of grossièreté. Grossièreté, rudeness. Être grossier means to be rude, by the way, a lack of class. Pisser dans un violon means wasting your time. It's trying something that will never work, wasting time on something that will never happen. Trying to make my friend understand that she needs to pay her taxes on time, c'est comme pisser dans un violon. That's useless. Now, a few centuries ago, the proverb used to be souffler dans un violon. Souffler dans un violon, to blow in a violin. Or siffler dans un violon. Siffler dans un violon, to whistle in a violin. Well, you won't make any music this way, so stop it. But the saying changed and the new way stayed the same until now. And when a new change erases the past, we have another proverb. Qui va à la chasse perd sa place. Qui va à la chasse perd sa place. It rhymes, therefore it must be true. Qui va à la chasse perd sa place means who goes hunting loses his seat. It's a justification for something like finders keepers. When you leave your seat unattended, you will find someone else sitting there when you get back. You will try to say you were sitting there before, but the person will answer qui va à la chasse perd sa place. Qui va à la chasse perd sa place. Sometimes we just say qui va à la chasse instead. That's all. Every French person knows what you mean by the expression. We don't know where it comes from. Is it really hunting? Is it something to do with church? Is it a saying that comes from le jeu de paume, the old French tennis? I wish we knew more, especially since Un homme averti en vaut deux. Un homme averti en vaut deux. It means someone who has been warned is worth two people. When you know more about a danger, when you've been warned, you're already in a better situation than before. We have a joke about this expression. Ready? Okay. A man is walking in the woods. He comes to a wide river and an old bridge, a really old wooden bridge barely standing over the water. The man is afraid to cross the bridge, but he's careful and nothing goes wrong, so he keeps walking. When he comes back, he had to cross the bridge another time to go back to the starting point. However, on this side of the bridge, there's a sign that says poids maximal 90 kg. Poids maximal 90 kg. Maximum weight 90 kilos. The man only weighs 80 kilos anyway, so he crosses back. Then the bridge falls into the river and he falls as well. And that's just because un homme averti en vaut deux. Tell me if you got the joke in the comments. Un tien vaut mieux que deux, tu l'auras. Un tien vaut mieux que deux, tu l'auras. So you hear this and at first glance you think, wait, grammatically it doesn't make any sense. What's un tien anyway? Don't worry, let's add des guillemets. Un tien vaut mieux que deux, tu l'auras. Okay? Un tien vaut mieux que deux, tu l'auras. Now we start to understand. One, all this is worth more than two. Wait, you will get it later. Or it's better to have something today than the promise of something to come. In English, the proverb is, of course, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Un tien vaut mieux que deux, tu l'auras comes from Les Fables de La Fontaine. Les Fables de La Fontaine. La Fontaine was a French writer under Louis XIV, Louis XIV. He's the author of really famous and really good short stories using animals like the lion or the fox to talk about morals and society. Everyone in France knows at least a few of them by heart. Check them out. The proverb itself is actually a translation for a Spanish saying. French language also uses vaut mieux tenir que courir. Vaut mieux tenir que courir. It's better to hold something than to run after something. It's an old one. In the same sense, they're also my favorite French proverb. Il ne faut pas vendre la peau de l'ours avant de l'avoir tué. Il ne faut pas vendre la peau de l'ours avant de l'avoir tué. You shouldn't sell a bear's pelt before you've killed the bear. You shouldn't be so sure of something happening before it actually happens. That's very, very important for me. Because we all know a bear hunter who's a poor decision maker. See what I mean? Etwa, did you know these sayings? Do you know others that confuse you? Which one have you only heard once and only understood way later? Share your experience in French if you dare in the comments below the video. We can all learn from your story. The comment section is the best place to start discussions and ask me questions. Don't hesitate to comment if you like this video or if you have something you want to talk about. I'll read all the comments. If you like this video, share it with your friends on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, email, any way you like. Help me spread the word about Comme une Française. That's super important for me. Thank you, merci. Love French, dream of sounding French even to the French. Learn how with me, Géraldine, on communefrancaise.com and subscribe to my email updates for exclusive tips on real life in France every Tuesday, plus an exclusive video lesson, Introduce Yourself in French. Lots of great content in there and it's free. Merci for watching Comme une Française TV. Sound French even to the French. Allez, salut!